Hey, welcome to this video. In this session, I'm going to show you how you can practice trading with fake money in real markets in real time. So there are lots of different ways to trade in terms of how we trade and execute our trades. Historically, a lot of people have used platforms like MetaTrader 4 or 5, maybe even CTrader, but TradingView has always been the industry standard for charting. So looking at the charts of any given instrument, an instrument being the price of something, whether that's a Forex pair, gold, an indice like the Dow Jones or the US 100, the NASDAQ, whatever. We're going to look at TradingView right now, and I'm going to show you how within TradingView, they have an app or an application called paper trading, where essentially you can demo trade or paper trade. Click the button, set your balance to whatever you want it to be, and then grow that account by practicing before you play around with real money. So let's dive into TradingView and let's take it from there. Alrighty guys, we're in TradingView and I just want to show you how to first get into paper trading. So down the bottom here, trading panel, you're going to click that. It's going to pull up this tab where you can connect to a broker. So you can see Black Bull right here as an option for once you're live. So you're not doing that right now if you're learning how to practice trading. Paper trading, TradingView's inbuilt system for demo trading. So you're going to hit connect. That is going to load an account that you may have already set up. So you can see I've already got one created. You're going to hit this little cog right here. For the first time you load one, you're going to hit reset account. And you might want to adjust these values to something more realistic. Let's just go with 1,000. You can set your currency to whatever you want. You can set these leverage settings. I suggest just keep it to whatever I have got right here, right now. And that'll make it the most simple for you. So these will more or less mimic, Black Bull settings. You might get a little bit more than that. But for now, maybe 100 to 1. And yeah, 100 to 1. That's good for now. So hit reset. Now we've got a fresh account, and so you can do that anytime. Obviously, if things go sideways and you want to reset it, then you're going to hit trade, and that is going to open up our trading panel in the top right hand corner where we can preset our stop loss, preset our targets, and you can obviously look at risking 2% of your account right there. If I'm executing with 10 units, you're going to see my trades soon that are basically following this. You hit sell first up here and then sell down there, or you hit buy up here and then you can execute your buy right there. So that is how we actually get into the trade panel, by clicking the trade button, and then that opens up our trading panel. And again, how we load our actual paper trading. So it shows you there with the green that we are logged in. You can drag this down if you still want to watch your balance change while we're trading. So let's dive into some trades. Alrighty team, so here you can see I am inside TradingView and I've already jumped into a sell position, and so you can see there, if you look closely, I've drawn a short position already with that red box on the top and the blue box on the bottom, and price is moving towards our TP1 level right now. So there is a bright red sell signal that you can see, and inside right there, I've just put the circle over it. That's our sell signal. I took that signal, trading within paper trading right now. So this is a demo account, and took that trade on that candle, pushed the sell button. Price is moving in our favor. And right now I will start to show you the different elements of this trade. So price is moving down in our favor. You can see it's coming down towards TP2 right there. Our indicator pre-draws these icons for us, so we know once we take a signal where's a good place to potentially exit. Right there you can see that tiny red arrow that I'm pointing towards is my entry, and then the stop loss level, sorry, over there, and that's the stop loss set up the top right here. I can drag this down actually into profit right now. So this is me adjusting my trade, moving my stop loss and clicking modify, which now means I have locked in these gains between my entry level on that green line and where the stop loss is. I've now locked in gains. I've still got a take profit level set at TP3. So when price gets there, if it gets there, it'll close our trade. I could adjust that. I could move that up to TP2 right now, but I'm going to leave it on TP3. So these are how we can adjust our trades while we are actually in the trade, because I clicked this button right before I clicked record. So let's see how this trade goes. We'll pan forward and I'll comment along the way. All right, team, just going to draw a vertical line here right on my entry so you can see my exact entry. So that cuts all the way through down into the MACD as well, so we can see what was going on down there at the time of that entry. I'm looking now just to make sure. Right, here we go. That's our spot. And yeah, looking down below, we can see that we had a crossover on our MACD with the red circle that I'm highlighting, and also the white triangle down. These are both good signals for us on the MACD that is showing a reverse in the trend, that things are now moving down, both the red circle and the white arrow. And so those were part of my confirmations for taking this trade. When you look and learn our TRENDFORCE rules, you'll be aware that we need a signal plus another signal. That could be a boost or a rocket, or in this case, it could also be that red circle on the MACD, or also that white triangle down. So meeting the rules right there, and now price is continuing to come down. So hopefully it'll keep going. Otherwise, we might at least get knocked out for a small win, but let's see if price keeps coming down. Alrighty team, so price is getting really close to TP3, drawing a little white circle here so we can see where we might potentially be triggered. Our take profit might get triggered, which will close out our trade with that profit. Let's see how it goes. Alrighty team, so at this point you can see price actually reversed away just before our take profit 3, and we are following it along. Looks like it may or may not come back down. If it doesn't, we will get knocked out where our stop loss is currently sitting. These are the moments that test your patience in terms of, do I exit right now? Do I take the profit I have? Do I trust my stop losses in the right place? Do I trust price is going to continue to reverse down? These are the moments where we've got to trust our indicator, but also at the same time have a good strategy and a personal set of rules in place for where we are going to exit. Not always going to get TP3s. We've got to remember that there's a much higher probability that we will hit TP1 and 2, and TP3 can sometimes be a bit of a home run, but it's still worthy to aim for it. Alrighty team, so right there you can see that price did just hit our stop loss, so that has knocked us out of that trade. I will now put that circle you can see on that blue arrow, which shows where our position was closed, adjusting the long position right there up to the actual amount that we were knocked out with. So that's showing the actual risk and reward from that trade, where the stop loss was. And so now we will look for another opportunity to potentially take a better trade, but that was still a win, small win, but still a win. So we'll keep going. Alrighty team, so looking here, I'm about to get into another sell position. So I've highlighted the trading panel. I'm putting in the stop loss details right now, so you can pre-tick stop loss. I'm going to adjust this in the tick value. So this is the amount of space I want my stop loss to be. I'm going to put in 2,000 ticks, and you will see there that that means, that my stop loss will be sitting at 2,969.92. And now I'm all set, ready to execute the actual trade. I'm just waiting to see if we get a good rejection from this zone, and then I'll push the sell button. There we go. And now you can see my stop loss is already in place on that position. I'm just going to move the circle to highlight my actual entry. So you can see there I have sold, and I've got the entry position, the red line in the middle. Going to copy and clone that trade box right there, our short position previously. And so now this is just going to visualize that there's our stop loss level right there. So we've got the red box, just mimicking that exact stop loss level. And this blue one, just going to drag it down to this zone right here for now. And let's see how this plays out. All right, team. So not looking too good on that one. We have hit our stop loss again. So previous stop loss was fine. We had moved that into profit for a small win. But this particular trade was a very short one. And so, I'm right here. I'm demo trading. I just want to execute as many trades as possible to show you how to actually push the button, more so not how to take the most perfect trades. There was nothing glorious about my entry there, deciding to sell again. We did pull back into the red zone, but as you can see, we had a white triangle up on the MACD and a green circle as price started to move further and further against us. So quick little small loss there. We were only risking, I think less than 2% of that account that we are dealing with here in paper trading. So now we're going to look and see if price is going to reverse in a more significant way. We might look to take this trade up and push buy. Okay, just zooming out to see a little bit more structure for what's actually taking place here. Zooming out, if in doubt, zoom out. And so you can see we had that little trend line break for that initial sell that we took, but really looking above and beyond that, what we might be seeing now is a bounce in price. And if we can see price get above these other trend lines, we could see price really start to take off and move back up towards that pink resistance trend line I have higher up. So just going to keep our eyes open now, look for an opportunity, but potentially looking for a buy right now. All right, guys, seen enough. I'm going to go for the buy. So I've clicked the blue box in the top right-hand corner. Firstly, the top buy box, then the second one to execute. So now we can see we've got our execution arrow there. I'm just moving this white circle over to highlight that. And then we are going to watch as price hopefully moves in our favor. The MACD is looking bright green. Look, there's no buy signal here. This is not following the rules that we have for TRENDFORCE at all. I just wanted to show you what it looks like to execute some trades, adjust the stop loss like that. I've just dropped that stop loss down. You can obviously predetermine that stop loss before you click the button. That is definitely best practice. Otherwise, you're just going to adjust it straight away. So there's our long position in place. Targeting up there, the 233, which is a good counter trend trade usually to take if you're taking a counter trend trade. And so, just adjusting the long position here, but with a bit more accuracy. You can click on the position to adjust these exact values if you want to line them up very accurately. But yeah, from here, we might then next drag out take profit up. So that's actually sitting at that level, and watch as the trade plays out. Alrighty team, not looking good. This is why you follow the rules. So price coming back to our stop loss level, and there we go. Stop loss executed for another small loss, calculated loss, right? We know exactly what we're risking when we place a trade. And so we've had a small win. We've had now 2 small losses. And so now we're going to track and see what happens here. Maybe we just needed to have a better entry and wait for an actual signal. But this is sometimes what it's like in your early days of trading. When you're just learning how to click the button, you're going to see what it can look like during a session where, this is not a long amount of time that we're here watching price at all. But it's still showing you what's possible in a short amount of time. So let's look for another opportunity to get a take profit hit during this session. All right, guys, I'm going to go for it. I still believe this is going up. So I'm going to click buy again. We're back into a long position, and we're going to adjust our stop loss. We're going to drag over this, clone this long position right there. Best practice definitely to tick the stop loss box, have that predetermined, but I really like the 55 moving average going bright. Our MACD is staying bright, and our trend zone on our MACD is also now hopping above that mid zone into those green zones right there. So stop loss moved down and modified, take profit moved up again to that 233. I have a strong conviction of moving in that direction. So at this point, I'm going to let this play out, and I believe we're going to see a take profit hit. All right, team, price moving in our favor, moving our stop loss now above our entry. So again, locking in wins. We're now just above break even, cannot make a loss on this trade. So let's keep trailing this thing and watch as it continues up towards, I believe, take profit. Let's go. All right, here we go. I've just split up things, so we're looking like we're about to hit our take profit. Price is just below clearing this red resistance zone and our 233, but we've got great momentum. Our trend zone has been pushing up. MACD is still bright green, and here we go. Take profit, bang! There we go. Exiting our trade for us. So you can see there as that candle pushes through our take profit level, instantly gives us that red arrow, which is indication of a sell. So it's actually selling our position out. So it's just how you exit. It's a sell order to exit your buy order. So there we go, I've drawn a white circle around it. So you can see that clearly marked on our chart right there, but I've still got our long position box in place for that level. So I know where horizontally speaking, what price level our trade was knocked out in, even if that candle goes far beyond it during this 1 minute candle. And yeah, just showing the balances and the different amounts at the bottom there. You can see the P&L. So the account is obviously in profit. It's moving forward despite having, you know, a small win and 2 losses and now this larger win. We're still ending up with profit. And so you can see at the bottom, I won't get into all the different histories and ways to monitor your trade right now inside of paper trading, but just showing you down there, you can see your balance during a trade, after a trade, things like that. And so now let's just see what else is going to happen here. We've got all our different positions. So there we go. From that, there's our measuring tool that I'm using and just showing the difference between the amount of time that we've been sitting here, how long it's taken us to, you know, take these 4 trades. You would call this over trading when your boxes are so close together, executing all of these, but just showing you with these red circles now, obviously those were the losses. So highlighting those very clearly. So the first loss was so small because it was such a short amount of time. We pretty much entered the trade and got stopped out almost on the next candle. But nevertheless, still coming out positive for the day. Small win, 2 losses, 1 win, and because that larger win at the end was far bigger than our losses, we still end up with profit for the day. So let's put a text box here and just do the math. So looking at our stop loss levels and our risk to reward levels, we took 140 pips on that first win, or some would say 14 pips, equivalent to 14 pips if you're measuring on the Dow or the NAS, but on gold, it's measured with like 10x the amount. So 140 was our small win, and we were close to take profit 3. So we could have almost had double that, but we held our stop loss. So then we had our small loss initially of 200, so minus 200, and our second loss was minus 250, but then our win, our final win there was plus 600. So doing the math on all of that will give us our total, which is positive. And so let's check in my math here. Let's just work this all out. We're 140 minus 200 minus 250 plus 600 gives us a grand total of positive 290 points still for the day. So overall, still up positive. And I love that. That's how the odds can be in our favor, right? We're trading. We can have a small win, maybe even a break even, and then 2 losses, but then still 1 win, which you note those stop losses were 200 and 250, but that 1 win was 600. And so on a $1,000 account, if we're equating to the account growth right here, and we had appropriate risk to reward in terms of we're risking about 2% of that account, so risking around about $20 of that account on those trades. So that 1,000 has grown to a positive, right? So what is our positive growth on this $1,000 paper trading account? Well, it equates to, let's just let the maths catch up here, and then we'll work out the percentage growth on that account during the session as well. So we're up $42.20. And so what is that in $1,000? So that equates to 1,042 is our new total. And just working out what that 42 is in terms of its growth, but it's about 4%, right? 4.2% account growth. So not bad for a short little session here, just paper trading, just clicking the button, but still showing you how, I bet you're watching the beginning going, man, this is dismal. Small win, 2 small losses, but still ending up positive with that win, that counter trend trade towards the 233 for a 4.2% growth on the day. And I can tell you this, 4.2%, when your account gets bigger, you'll be stoked with that for the month, let alone the week, and let alone the day. And you got to realize, right, guys, like once you get to a multi-6-figure account, 4.2% becomes significant. 4.2% on a 100K account is 4,200. Now, you can get to a point in your life when you're making that in a day in trading, but that is definitely not going to be your early days. And so this is just to show how we can stack the odds in our favor, even when we're taking losses in the middle. And none of this was following our rules, guys. I was just pushing the button based on observing things that I know can happen, so I could show you in the space of a short amount of time. This is only a 17-minute recording. Obviously, I've sped up a whole lot of the little gaps in between while we're waiting for price to move, but just wanted to show you what was possible. Alright team, that wraps up this video on paper trading. Hope you got some value from it. If you're new to the channel, please do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified every single time we upload a new training, which happens multiple times every single week. So without further ado, I will see you on the inside in our TradingForce community. Otherwise, trade safe. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.